I'm Pete Margaritas, and for the next 55 minutes, we're going to sit and talk about the latest and greatest coming out of IFRS, or an IFRS update. The state of IFRS adoption in the U.S. We've been doing this since 2002. We're 12 years into the deal. Where are we? And this is probably my third year in doing an IFRS update, and what I can say is from August of last year through March, I have seen more headlines as it relates to IFRS. And what are we going to do with IFRS? Are we going to adopt it? We were going to make the decision. You see the SEC postponed the decision. AICPA IFRS conference in Boston in October. Both chairmen of both boards were there. It really seemed euphoric at the time that this was really going to happen. And then something happened. And the atmosphere turned completely different. And then we got the postponement. And it's, we need a few more months. But nobody from the SEC will say definitively, is that 2 months? Hypothetical. The SEC says no. We are not going to adopt IFRS for publicly traded companies in the United States. My question to you is, what does that do to the CPA brand? The letters behind all of our names. What does CPA mean if we say no to IFRS? Does it stand for compliant with U.S. GAAP? And with that being said, does the chartered accountant in Europe, does that brand gain superiority over the CPA brand? Does the chartered accountant in Canada have a higher brand recognition globally? Revenue recognition, the comment period ended on March 13th of this year. Currently, they are going to review the comments in quarter 2 and quarter 3, but they have not stated when they expect to release the standard. This affects all of us in this room, and if you're privately held, it affects you, but you get a 1-year moratorium on this, because the standard states it wouldn't come into effect no sooner than 1/1/2015. However, within the proposed standard, it calls for a retrospective application. And this retrospective application, is it 1 year or 2 years? All of these, but the first one I want to talk to is contracts. If we go to IFRS, or you're acquired and now moving to IFRS, what is that going to do to your contracts? What is that going to do to your covenants, your bank covenants, your bond covenants? It's going to break them because the metrics have changed. Right now, we know the leasing, well, it appears leasing is going to change, and I'll talk about leasing here in a few minutes. Have you started thinking about working with your banker, working with the attorney on, if this happens, what is this going to do to my metrics, and is it going to blow my covenants up, and now technically I'm in default? CEOs are also concerned about this, and they're alerting their HR departments to go, you know what, I get paid a salary, but I get a bonus. And part of that bonus is based off of metrics. HR, you need to rework my contract. Or let's start thinking about what it would look like in a new accounting system. So HR principles-based accounting, just proved it 3 times. I've seen this video so much, I can't really divide 7 and 28 anymore. I was trying to help my son with his math homework, and I started doing it the Abbott and Costello way. And I really had to step back and think about it. So for those of you who have a firm and you're having an audit, if you have a company, you're having an audit, and they send that first-year staff in, show them that 7 goes into 28 13 times and watch their head go poof. Speaking at the AICPA Real Estate Conference in November, and I contacted a firm here in town, a partner who heavy in real estate, and I just want to run some things by this individual. And she goes, Pete, can I tell you something? My clients, they're not publicly held, privately held. They're so frustrated with U.S. GAAP, they're moving to Akboa. I'm taking more, and the banks are fine with it. I'm taking more from a U.S. GAAP to Akboa, basically on a tax basis. And she said, it's pretty embarrassing to our profession when tax law is easier to understand their own standards. Other questions? I got 11, must be on Mountain Standard Time. I've kept you 1 minute past the time. I apologize. Thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of the day.